We're going to speak quickly to cover as much relevant, good stuff as we possibly can for the iGaming sector and give you as much value out of these 20 minutes. Please do send in any questions that you have, anything that comes up during the conversation. Get it into the hop-in window. We will answer it, but after our chat, so we can take some time to properly go through it and give you some meaningful answers. The nice people at BDO have put together a fantastic free set of cybersecurity guidelines, which are going to be shared with each of you. Please express your interest in getting this free fact sheet. It's full of great information and it will really help you get started. And BDO are also offering a fantastic free consultation with their cybersecurity experts. So please do let us know through the chat window if you want to take part in this. It's a tremendous offer and it's really useful, and you're going to find out exactly why these two gentlemen are on this call right now. They have such a depth of knowledge that's great for the sector. Okay, so onwards. First, we're going to just dive in to both of your histories professionally, and I wonder, could you tell us a little bit about your work in the field of cybersecurity and iGaming, and give the folks a bit of a taste for why you're here on this call, starting with your good self, Ivan.
So for the past years, I've been leading the technology service line at BDO Malta, overseeing the technology services we offer, including regulatory, compliance, cybersecurity, privacy, data protection, and other technology services. I've been working in technology for the past 25 years and built my experience across a range of industries, including gaming, of course. And I'm delighted today to be here having this discussion.
Fantastic. We're delighted to have you, Ivan. Thank you very much. And Donald, tell us a bit about your professional history as well and how it relates to iGaming and cybersecurity.
Yes, absolutely. So thank you, Austin. It's a pleasure to be here. So I currently am in charge of managing all aspects of information security governance and even strategy across the Regulators group. I'm also a former CTO. I was worked in the field of IT and security for the past 25 years across a whole lot of different industries, amongst them as an advisor also with the Big Four.
Fantastic. That's great. So folks at home, you can see why these two gentlemen are here. They've got decades of expertise, and that's where we're going to dive straight into some of the most important questions in the space. So Ivan, I'd like to start with yourself. Now, perhaps more than most other industries, iGaming is about cash going in, cash going out. It's about cash. It's the raw material. So do you think this makes it a unique target for cyber attacks?
I believe it should not come as a surprise to anyone that online gaming companies are targets of hackers. After all, why do people steal from banks? Because that's where the money is. However, reports on recent attacks on online gaming firms are saying that state-sponsored hackers were aiming to disrupt operators accepting bets from mainland gamblers. These reports are suggesting the possibility that it was China's fight against cross-border gambling.
Oh.
There have also been espionage-related attacks where hackers stole customer databases and intellectual property. So it's not always about money, It's much more.
Yeah, there's a whole a lot of considerations there. It's not just about money. It's about geopolitical trends. It's about politics and rivalries, etc. That's really fascinating. Thank you. And coming over to yourself, Donald, you've obviously got your iGaming hat on today. Talk to us a bit about the current landscape with security and iGaming.
The landscape at the moment is a bit of a rough one. I would even dare say it's an evolving one. Why? Because iGaming is generally associated with fun, and quite frankly, we're surely not a bank, but yet we process millions, of financial transactions that pretty much give motive to hackers at the end of the day.
Yeah.
And for this reason, hackers will try to exploit platforms with looking for weaknesses to try and steal money. So yes, it's not always about money, but the main motive is actually money. That's what we see on our end. Other threat actors that we're seeing in the landscape focus on identity fraud. So that is something that we're seeing on the increase, and certainly at causing disruption, which dovetails with Ivan's comment over there, which in turn leads to some sort of business loss. from our aspect, causing players to choose other platforms to enjoy, playing at the end of the day.
Yes, absolutely. And, Ivan, just coming back to yourself, you've got the BDO super perspective on things. Talk to us a bit about the kind of attacks that are happening these days. What are the vulnerabilities and the trends in cybersecurity?
There are many types of attacks, but if I had to pick my top three, there would be the denial of service attacks,
sure,
which disable a targeted site with flood of information requests, phishing and spear attacks, targeting employees. And lately, supply chain has become an attractive target. A recent example was the SolarWinds attack, for example, which is affecting SolarWinds clients. 18,000 was the latest number, if I'm not mistaken. Number of clients affected, yes. Some may say that this won't affect me. I'm not a SolarWinds client. But what if one of your business critical supplier was affected? Are you prepared for this service being down from the supplier? So it has been quite an attack which has caused a lot of issues.
Right. Indeed. And if you think cybersecurity isn't important, I have one word for you, and that is SolarWinds 123, which I believe was the password that was used on the back end for the supply chain there, which is an incredible open door for attackers. Now, staying with yourself, Ivan, talk to us a bit about how companies. So these are a lot of interesting risks that you mentioned there: DDoS, supply chain, etc. How can companies go about mitigating these risks?
So here I would like to use an analogy. So let's say you've fallen and broken your leg. As you lie there, three strangers offer to help. One has received first aid basic training. The next has some experience in bone setting, but no recognized qualifications. The third is a fully qualified practicing orthopedic. So which one do you trust to care for you? I think the answer is quite simple.
Yes.
Because confidence is crucial in all walks of life, and nothing inspires it more than reputable and recognized qualification. When there is proof that an individual or organization has put the hours required to demonstrate skill and aptitude, it's always easier to know where to place our trust. In the business world, in cybersecurity accreditation offers precisely this form of reassurance. It's providing tangible proof that a business is equipped and is following recognized company-wide security framework to exactly mitigate these risks, as well as taking the proactive steps to make online security a priority.
Absolutely, yes. Whether you're having your leg set or securing your iGaming cybersecurity, you want the one with the accreditation, with the qualifications, with the proof behind it. You do not want the guy you just bumped into on the pub who assures you he can fix your leg. So sound advice there. Thank you very much, Ivan. Staying with yourself for one more question, Ivan. I would like to start exploring with you both the role of regulators, because I think there's a really interesting balance between regulators, between companies in the space, and between the audience. And it's always about achieving the right balance, I think. What do you think, Ivan, is the role of compliance and regulators in this iGaming cybersecurity world?
I believe they have a crucial role to ensure that the entities they're regulating have the technology, the processes, and other controls to prevent or at least reduce the risk of loss from cyber incidents. And also, I believe they should press the entities they regulate to prepare for a likelihood of significant cyber incidents.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And Donald, what say you? Do you have a take on the whole role of regulators in the cybersecurity space for iGaming?
Oh yes, very much, very much so. So Ivan's very correct. Dovetailing with how we mitigate risks. The key for us is to be prepared and know how to respond. I would add also within reason, but also in an effective manner. And the way that normally manifests itself is usually by employing controls in a layered manner, holistically, if you will, sort of thing. So in essence, the way we do it is, forming part of the legal and compliance department. We focus on advising the company on how to best comply with license requirements. Regulators, on the other hand, we require some level of compliance to ensure that iGaming companies operate within what we call responsible parameters, related not only to security but also other aspects like KYC, AML, and potentially even RG. This, for us, pretty much ensures that there's a level playing field, mostly for the player or the customer, and mostly in terms of managing expectations.
Yeah, absolutely. Good. Very, very good comment there. And folks, we've just passed the 8 minutes left mark, so time is marching on. Please do remember to get your comments into the hop-in chat window. Your questions, they will be answered afterwards. Please do sign up to get the free white paper, and please do sign up to get the free consultation. It is really worth a lot with BDO directly there. Okay, we're going to move swiftly on. Now, we've heard there about the opportunities, this global interconnected world that we live in, supply chain security, etc., etc. So there's sort of a world of opportunity around global iGaming businesses operating in multiple jurisdictions. But Ivan, talk to us a bit about how they should be thinking about navigating this complex space and multiple jurisdictions.
As you correctly pointing out, different jurisdictions have somewhat different requirements with regard to security. And this is presenting various challenges to operators. However, we are seeing several regulators pushing ISO 27001 standard. In fact, several jurisdictions currently waive security auditing requirements if license holders already hold an ISO 27001 certification. And this enables the independent testing and certification process to require less effort with potential cost savings and quicker time to market, which is not something to discount.
Absolutely. So if you want to get ahead, maybe think about getting an ISO 27001, worth checking out for sure. And Donald, we're going to hop over to you now. Now, we spoke about money in, money out, but of course, it's a business. It's important for it to be financially sustainable. Now, talk to us a bit about the potential impact, for example, the reputational impact of cyber attacks, and how damaging can this be for the iGaming sector?
A very, very interesting aspect. In fact, reputational risk is obviously only one aspect of risk that is looked at by at least our C levels and by our board. For us, of course, it's imperative to maintain a good security posture, and to be honest with you, it's no longer an option. So it clearly represents a big risk. Any business financial impacts could be impactful to us. So with this in mind, it's important for us to manage risks in cybersecurity in a way that risks are reduced to some sort of acceptable level. In the case of us, for example, reputation is key, simply because it is very easy to lose customers or operating licenses as a result of security issues, and that's a very big deal.
Yeah, that's the thing about credibility, that kind of reputation. It's easy to lose, particularly after a cyber attack. And coming over to yourself, Ivan, you work for BDO. You advise a number of iGaming companies about their cybersecurity and their measures. How do you go about advising these companies to manage their cybersecurity? What's the BDO perspective?
Well, conscious of time, I'm going to summarize this in 2 words. Yeah. Be prepared. Cyber attacks and data breaches could always happen. But the forward planning that's involved when a cybersecurity framework is in place precisely demonstrates that the business has evaluated the risks as well as their business continuity and incident plans. So if things were to go wrong, it doesn't actually prevent the incident from occurring, but it surely helps significantly to reduce the impact.
Sage advice there. 2 words to live by: be prepared. Absolutely. And folks, just remember, you can be prepared by getting that free cybersecurity guidelines prepared by BDO. Please express your interest in the chat window along with your questions, and you'll get a consultation for free if you're interested as well. So do please take part in that. So Donald, quick question for yourself. You spoke about the C-level, about the different take and the way of looking at the business. Is culture important? Does it eat strategy for breakfast, as they sometimes say?
Definitely, Ocean. I would say absolutely. I mean, it's all well and good to have a good strategy, However, I believe it is crucial for any rollout of any program or the success of any security strategy. Without the right mindset, and buy-in is going to be somewhat limited, in my humble opinion. And usually strategy will suffer if the mindset is not set properly. So setting the tone at the top and leading by example, in my humble opinion, again, are 2 components that I believe are absolutely crucial to the execution of any strategy. I think the key, though, however, is to think of security as an enabler, as a cornerstone to the success of any strategy that any gaming company decides to put through.
Yes, well said. Good advice for the C-level there. I know iGaming Next attracts a lot of C-level folks. That was very useful. Staying with yourself, Donald, what are your top tips? We've got a couple of minutes left. Top takeaways for cyber resilience for iGaming companies.
Absolutely. So on an ending note, I think we need to stress that cybersecurity here is no longer something that is optional, and it's absolutely crucial to be prepared, to deal with security issues, which, by the way, will happen no matter how secure you think you are. And now, for this reason, I urge everybody on this call over here, to reach out to professionals in the field, to measure, to monitor, and to seek to mature, in the security space with the ultimate aim of actually, gaining an understanding and feeling of your posture, to eventually embark on some sort of improvement program, which obviously is aimed at reducing your exposure to business risks.
Very good. Those are 3 M's, again, to live by: measure, monitor, mature. Thank you for that, Donald. Ivan, you have the last word. What are your top tips for folks in the iGaming space around cybersecurity?
My top tip would be: do not gamble with security. I mean, the benefits for implementing a certified cybersecurity framework, in my opinion, are clear. It leads to a stronger and resilient business model by incorporating prevention and security best practices, as you mentioned earlier, in a company's culture, which is one of the most important aspects of security.
Well said, well said. Okay, and folks, as I said at the beginning, 20 minutes goes quickly, so I hope we've had a bit of a deep dive into some of the pressing issues around iGaming. Please do keep your questions coming in the hop-in chat window. Please do get that free set of cybersecurity guidelines and register for your complimentary tech security advisory session. Put that in the chat window and reach out to any of us on LinkedIn or any of the professional networks. Thanks so much to Ivan and Donald for that absolute cybersecurity iGaming gold there. Thank you for the iGaming Next team, and I hope you enjoy the rest of the iGaming Next Power Hour. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you.